What's up, people of the world? It is me again, Alex Swimmer, aka AP3. What's up, people of the world? It is me again, Alex Swimmer, aka AP3 Jumped, and I was talking too fast. Anyway, I come to you with my Cappy hat and my It's Not Melee shirt. Yeah, I know you can't really see the whole shirt on the screen, but oh well, I can't really do anything about that. So, I'm wearing them for this video today because today I'm talking about glitch techs. Yeah, this is really exciting because yeah, I'm wearing gaming related clothing for a gaming related TV show. Yes, glitch techs. Now this is the second time I'm doing like a general overview review. That is this is the second time I'm doing a review for an entire series overall. The first time I did that was with Unikitty. After I saw the first 10 episodes, I basically did a review for the whole series, and I didn't review any more episodes since. But I'm doing the sort of same thing with glitch techs. Although I would call this the season 1 review. Although I don't think this is the entirety of season 1. I could be wrong about that, but I'll talk about that a little later. So yes, anyway, glitch techs. Now, one of my favorite new TV shows of 2020. It's one of 5 new TV shows I've watched so far within the span of like not even 2 months since the year started. But I completely forgot the show even fucking existed. Like, I first found out about the show like a long fucking time ago. I can't even remember the last time I first heard about it. It was shit. I'd say either 2016 or 2017. It was one of those years, and Veilski Bum 94 was talking about that, and I barely remember him talking about it because I guess there was barely any information about the show at the time. So there was I remember seeing like the very first like poster for the show, and it had this creature in the poster that hasn't been seen in the series yet. But I found out about when I first found out about it, and when I first found out about the premise, it sounded really interesting, and needless to say, it wound up being an awesome. The show wound up having an awesome premise, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So the creators of the show. See, the show was created by 2 guys, right? It was created by Eric Robles, if that, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and Dan Milano. These guys are actually they're actually well known for what they do. Dan Milano is one of the writers and one of the voice actors for Robot Chicken, and Eric Robles was actually the creator of Fanboy and Chum Chum. Now that's one of the first things I learned about the series, like way back in the day when I first heard about it. That it was being created by the same person. It was being co-created by the same person who created Fanboy and Chum Chum, and I guess that led a lot of people to. I guess that led a lot of people to be skeptical because, yes, Fanboy and Chum Chum is regarded as the worst Nicktoon of all time, and definitely one of the worst cartoons of all time. And if I could go off topic real quick, rumor has it that Nickelodeon passed Adventure Time up for Fanboy and Chum Chum instead. Yeah, so anyway, I do have to say, Eric Robles, he definitely learned a lot. Because yeah, Glitch Techs is an awesome show. I'm just gonna go right down to the chase, and I love this show very much. And where do I even start? This show is great for lots of different reasons. Number one, it's based around video games, right? It appeals to gamers, but it's also it the show has like done its research and has done its homework. In other words, like the people who worked on the show have definitely grown up with video games in their life, like because there are references to pretty much any video game you could possibly imagine. I guess I'm gonna get into spoilers real quick. I have spoilers for like Easter eggs in terms of like what video games are referenced. So if you have not seen the series yet, then I'm going to get into spoiler territory now. So 3, 2, 1. All right, you've been warned. So yeah, funny I'm talking about the Easter eggs before the characters. So anyway, because yeah, that's one of the main appealing factors of the show. It's that it's based around video games, and yeah, you have these two main characters, right? Hector Nieves, aka High Five. That's his like his gamer tag, if you will. And then you have the second character. Her name is Miko Kubota, and High Five is actually High Five is Mexican American, and Miko is Japanese American. So that's really awesome. You have a Spanish and an Asian lead in the same show. I think that's really cool. And so yeah, they work for this company named Hinobi, who I guess has created like they're like the only video game company in the Glitch Techs universe, I'm guessing, because they make literally every single game that's ever been made in that universe. So yeah, they the Hinobi's makes these games, right? Turns out a lot of their games have what are referred to as glitches. And the glitches actually manifest themselves into physical beings and like monsters, and based on what the characters look like within the game that the glitch comes from. And these glitches can look like pretty much anything, and they can take on all kinds of different forms. There are multiple different types of glitches. There are regular glitch monsters, there are multiplayer glitches, there are possessor glitches, there's like all kinds of glitches, right? And so the organization who goes out and stops these glitches are referred to as the Glitch Techs, and they're the ones who have to capture the glitches. And so yeah, this show already has gives me lots of different vibes of it. It reminds me of a lot of other different things. It's like Ghostbusters meets Danny Phantom meets Men in Black meets some other show from like the 90s that I forgot even existed, but had a similar premise to this. But yeah, so in the turn of events, Miko and High Five, they wind up becoming glitch techs themselves through like it's a long story as to how they became glitch techs, but yeah, they become glitch techs, and they're taking their job in stride. They kind of love their job. Actually, no, they really love their job, and they're glad to be able to do something like this. And so the show reminds me of Ghostbusters and Danny Phantom because they have to capture monsters and contain them and take them back to the headquarters, the Hinobi headquarters, because Miko and High Five, they get these jobs at the Hinobi store as clerk. As what am I saying? They get jobs at the Hinobi store as clerks, but that's actually a cover up for the real jobs as being glitch techs, because the Glitch Techs organization is a secret, and this is where the Men in Black comparison comes into play, because if there are any bystanders that happen to see any events transpire in regards to the Glitch Techs trying to capture glitches and fend off glitches, then they have to wipe their memories like this with their glitch gauntlets. It's like this weapon that the Glitch Techs themselves can use in order to fend off the glitches. They can use all sorts of different abilities, use different items, and yeah, it's basically like a video game in real life. But anyway, the Men in Black comparison is very apparent because yeah, they have to mind wipe people who see these events transpire. Although there are very few exceptions to that. They're like only they're like only specific characters that don't actually get their memories wiped. And in other words, there's only like a few, like 2 or 3 specific characters that do know the secret of the Glitch organization. It's namely Miko's siblings actually, but yeah. So the things that the things that the Glitch do, they they basically are living a video game in real life in terms of how they capture these glitches. They even level up and gain experience points, and can get new items and whatnot for the more experience points you get, the higher you level up. Classic video game 101, right? So yeah, that is one of the main appealing factors of the show. It's that it's just a giant love letter to video games, and it has references to all the fundamentals of video games. It has references to multiple different video game franchises. Like I said earlier, there's references to Mario. There's let's see. There's references to Mario. Metroid is referenced by name. I think Tetris and Candy Crush referenced at the same exact time. There's like these icy Tetraminos in like a Candy Crush style game. They like blend all these different puzzle games together. There's this one game that basically blends all these different puzzle games, namely Bejeweled, Candy Crush, and Tetris. And the game in question is actually called Crystal Crush. So yeah. There's a whole game based on Castlevania called Castlestein. That episode's really fucking awesome. Definitely one of my favorites. And there's this one video game that looks just like Metal Gear. There's even the main character in that game is literally it literally looks like Solid Snake. Like it's literally like 1-to-1 Solid Snake. Like I don't know how they were like allowed to do that, but that's fucking awesome. That Solid Snake himself basically makes a cameo in Glitch Text. And so yeah, a Chomp Kitty is based on Pac-Man. There's a game based on Pokemon. Yeah, there's lots of different examples. And the Castlevania world, that game is actually called Castlestein, like I said. That's not the only video game world Glitch Text can travel into, because yeah, every so often they actually travel into video game worlds or simulations, and all the other ones look really awesome too. There's one in like episode 8 it takes place in like a wasteland or whatever. It's like a lava area combined with a wasteland area, and yeah, that environment's really cool. It reminds me of like Spy Kids 3 Game Over, to be honest. And yeah, that's it with like the references and basically what the show is about. So next I'm going to talk about the characters. Any great TV show should have great characters as well, because I love the characters in this. The 2 protagonists who I talked about briefly earlier are High Five and Miko. Now, yeah, they're great protagonists. High Five, I love their designs. I love the character designs in general for all the characters actually. High Five's design, he's actually really tall and lanky, and I love his hair actually. I've never seen a hairstyle quite like that before. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, I'm not good at describing the personalities of characters sometimes, but yeah, I'll just say I like his personality a lot. And then we have Miko, who's she's the secondary protagonist, and I absolutely love her character design. She's probably my favorite character in terms of design. and probably my favorite character in general. And I love her personality too. She's very bright and bubbly, and both the characters are very outgoing. And Miko and High Five, they have an absolutely great dynamic. I love these two. They're real. They they have the shit. I'm losing my train of thought, but they just have a great dynamic overall, and yeah. But yeah, these two are charming as hell, and they're always there to help each other out. Like good friends would and should, and yeah, they're really great friends, and they're a great duo. So yeah, they're probably my favorite characters in the show, even though they're the protagonists. So they're still very fun to watch. I will say that, and their expressions are very hilarious too, and the expressions of a lot of the characters are great. Miko especially, her expressions are very, they're very expressive. They're very exaggerated expressions. So I feel like she has more exaggerated expressions than anybody, and so yeah, and the thing about a lot, there's a lot of other characters that I like in the show that are really charming. Like I like Bit, the little floating robot guy. He's really fun, and for some reason, a lot of the characters, be it guy or girl, always have like a light blush on their face, like Miko and Five. They always have a light blush on their face, and I find that to be very interesting. And there's also times where certain characters like are seen in like a chibi style for like a brief period, and that's really cool. And next, I'm going to this will be a good segue into my next topic is the animation quality and whatnot. So I think the show looks fucking gorgeous. It's the colors are nice and bright. The characters are very expressive. The show is very well animated, and there's a lot of the action scenes are great. There are a lot of nice. There are a lot of bombastic moments, and whenever there's an action scene happening, there's always so much going on. And even in just like a you know a relaxed scene, when there's not action happening, you get some really amazing visuals. Like the back, like depending on scene, the background can look especially gorgeous. Like with the sunsets and whatnot. I feel like sunsets in anything should look great, be it TV show, movie, or video game. So yeah. One thing that's very interesting though, that the scenes that are particularly flashy were actually dimmed down on Netflix, so as to accommodate for anyone who has epilepsy, and that is very much appreciated. So I'm glad that they did that, so there wouldn't be any so there wouldn't be any lawsuits or anything like that, or we wouldn't want to have another situation like with that one Pokemon episode that sent like millions of kids to the hospital, and and some kids have even died from watching epileptic induced TV shows that are like way too flashy. So yeah, that's very much appreciated. But it's not. It's actually not an option. You're actually like forced to watch these scenes dimmed down. It's not that. It's not a. For anyone who doesn't suffer from it, like for anyone who doesn't suffer from epilepsy, such as myself, I guess it's a little annoying having to watch certain scenes dimmed down, even if I wouldn't think that they're too bright for my eyes. But it would be nice to. It would have been nice to have it as an option to where you can toggle the certain scenes from being too bright or dimming them down. You know what I mean? I wish there was a option to toggle that setting. But yeah, I mean, You know, it's funny, the intro when you're watching episodes has dimmed down scenes, but when you watch the intro all by itself, none of those dimmed down scenes are dimmed out at all, which I find very, very peculiar, but whatever. So all in all, I absolutely love this show. It's definitely become one of my favorite Nicktoons of all time, and one of my favorite shows of 2020, and one of my favorite cartoons of all time. And I really hope the show does not go to waste, because the show has had a bit of a troubled production over the past few years, and they made like 20 episodes, but there's only like 9 produced. I think rumor has it that 10 more episodes are confirmed to be on the way. Hopefully, don't quote me on that, but I'm hoping it's true. I think one of the co-creators themselves actually said that, but yeah. It was very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen any other Nicktoon do this, but the very first episode is actually an hour long. That definitely caught me by surprise. And this is actually the very first Nicktoon to exclusively premiere on Netflix, because this was originally supposed to appear on the Nickelodeon network, but it was moved over to Netflix. So this show has amazing potential. I can't wait to see where the show goes from here, and I want to see even more character development and I want to see Miko and High Five's dynamic flourish even further. So yeah, I just really want the show to succeed, and the only way you can make it succeed is to watch it. So yeah, in other words, I highly recommend this show for anyone who loves video games, for anyone looking to watch a new Nicktoon that's beautifully animated, has a great love letter to video games. It's funny, it great characters, and the show pretty much has it all, for me at least. So I highly recommend you watch this show, because this is definitely a show that would have come out back when I was a kid. This is definitely just this show reminds me of shows that I used to watch when I was a kid, back in like the early 2000s. So this show has those same kinds of vibes. So that's very much appreciated. So yeah, Glitch Techs, highly recommend it. 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, I just want to see more episodes. Nickelodeon and Netflix, make it happen, please. I want to see those unreleased episodes be released, or unfinished, whatever the situation is. But I want this show to succeed. So because this show is fucking awesome. Anyway, if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe. Like the video if you liked it. Ring the bell to be notified of future videos I make. And stay tuned for my 700th video, which is coming up very shortly. So look forward to that. I know I am. So anyways, once again, I'm Alex Wimmer, aka AP3Jumps. Thank you so much for watching until the end. That is it for me, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Also, I actually got to play the demo of Final Fantasy VII Remake today, so that was fucking awesome. I might talk about that more in the future video, but yeah. My very first time ever playing Final Fantasy in my life, actually. So yeah.